I'm meteorologist Joe Winters here at the TV9 Weather Lab. We have a tornado warning that has been issued for portions of Grundy and Butler County. This will be in effect until 5:15. Let's go ahead and pinpoint this area and take a really close look at where we're looking at the possibility of a funnel cloud or tornado has developed. This would be just off and near the Parkersburg area and moving to the north. With that in mind, let's just go live to our Parkersburg city cam because it takes a look at the sky, and we're looking up some of that lower hanging base from the clouds on our Parkersburg city cam, not noticing anything in the way of any funnel that we're seeing from that storm at all. However, as we do look at the lowering of the base, that's what we look for to find out if that possibility of a tornado would be there. We're just going to kind of watch that for a little while. We want you to, again, keep in mind that there is a tornado warning in effect for a small portion of northern Grundy, but mostly across areas of Butler County. Storm itself is in southern areas of Butler County, heading off toward the north, probably moving roughly at about 25 to 30 miles per hour. These storms have been out there, and it is certainly capable of producing a tornado near the Applington-Parkers area. It is a radar-indicated storm, and it is moving northeast at 30. So we're going to keep an eye on our Parkersburg city cam. We'll go back to radar right now, and we'll go ahead and put a storm track on that for you. And again, we're looking at until 5:15, so that's for about the next 21 minutes or so. That storm is moving through. Quite honestly, now it looks like it is north and just out of the Grundy County area. It is mainly across Butler County right now. Again, across Butler County is where we're looking at this storm. Let's go ahead and pause it. And let's go ahead and put a storm track on. As we said, the storm itself moving at about 30 miles per hour. So it's not a fast-moving storm by any means. We're not expecting a lot of gusty winds in this storm system as it moves through, but we are expecting, once again, the rotation in the storm, which can potentially lead to tornadic development. We'll go right here kind of in that notch and move it ahead. And let's take a look at about the next 30 minutes on how this storm is developing. So that would put it near Eleanor at about 4:57. Big Marsh Wildlife area, that would arrive at about 5:04. Butler Center at about 5:09. Allison at about 5:15. And the Allison Municipal Airport at about 5:16, Prairie Preserves 5:22, as well as 5:20. Again, this is a storm system that continues to move off to the northeast at roughly 30 miles per hour. Go ahead and clear that off for you, and we're going to stay with this as long as the tornado warning does remain in effect, certainly. And as we clear things off, you'll be able to see that and we'll get a little closer, tighter look for you. Again, the storm itself, they've now changed it as expected. Grundy County, you're clear of the storm, which is certainly expected as it has moved out of Grundy County with that northeastward movement. The favored area right now, as we can see, probably just off to the northeast of Parkersburg, just off to the northeast of Parkersburg. So what we want to do is take a look and how the winds are moving inside the storm. We talk about the rotation in the storm, which is what we certainly watch, and we'll continue to see that as it moves. Let's go ahead and bring up the velocity, so it's going to change colors on you. Again, it's a little ways away from the radar site. If you're noticing anything in the rotation, it's off to the west of Highway 14, just off to the northeast of Parkersburg with some higher wind gusts as well. No real tight location that we're seeing within this storm as far as rotation is concerned, but it's something we're certainly keeping our eye on. If you are in Butler County, make sure you are in your safe place. Let's go back to our Parkersburg city cam. And there you go. We're just continuing. We're just going to kind of watch this a little bit. That lowering of the cloud base, that's an indication, of course, that there is some rotation within the storm, and with rotation in the storm, that is certainly something we need to continue to watch, and that's why the tornado warning was issued. There has been no tornado nor funnel cloud reported as that storm has moved through, but it is something that needs to be continually watched, and right now our eyes are focused on the Parkersburg city cam showing that lowering of the cloud base, no perceptible rotation, nor certainly no funnel cloud being seen as we can take a look at our Parkersburg city cam live. As far as some storm safety, again, what you need to do, let's get to the lowest level of your home or building that you are in. That's the safest place you can be. Get under something sturdy. Grab your bike helmet. We always say put on the bike helmet. That way if there's flying debris, it can protect you. Now again, we do not have a tornado on the ground. We have rotation that could lead to a tornado. And we'll be showing you pinpoint Doppler radar in just a second. Make sure you cover yourselves and get your safe place with blankets, pillows, or towels. Avoid windows. doors, and outside walls. Those are areas, again, that can hit by flying debris. And if you don't have a basement, the lowest level possible, as mentioned, in an interior room, a small interior room. So certainly what you want to be watching for. That's how you want to stay safe as this storm moves through. We'll pull up pinpoint Doppler radar once again and give you a wide view first. Noticing not much, and we're really not expecting much in the way of severe weather. Quite honestly, this storm itself with the rotation just got low enough in the atmosphere ahead of a warm front to allow that rotation to develop. And that's what we're seeing right now. We're going to go ahead and switch. We're going to stop here, and we're going to go to the nearest radar site, give us a little better picture of the storm. And we certainly still see that notch that's off across the back of the storm, just off to the northwest rather, of Parkersburg. That's the area where that rotation would be. That would be from about 270th Street near Hickory Avenue, near the Eleanor area, as mentioned earlier, and just off to the west of Highway 14, just off to the south of Kesley. Now again, that's the area the rotation is seen. That's the area you certainly want to be in your safe place. As of right now, again, from the Weather Service, no confirmation that we have seen any tornadic activity as that storm continues to move through. And there you see, again, we'll widen this picture out a little harder to see when we have it so tight in as far as the movement, but it is moving off toward the northeast. Those of you in Allison, you certainly want to be in your safe place as well as that movement does continue. Let's go ahead and put a storm track on it once again. Now, the position itself has changed a little bit. And again, we're looking at about a 30-mile-an-hour movement off toward the northeast. We'll go out the next half hour, which will take it beyond the warning itself. Butler Center, about 5:09. Allison, that storm arrives about 5:15. Look for Sportsman's Park to see that storm at 5:25. Clarksville at about 5:26. And Camp Comfort, that storm arrives at about 5:28. And there you see in the bottom of your screen as well, we've dual screened it for you. Interesting to look. You see on the far right side of the Parkersburg City Cam, that's some rain that's falling out of the storm, pretty heavy. Then you have that long rain-free base that's off to the left of your picture. That's what we're kind of watching, that area. Could that be an area that we could see something drop out of or some rotation, a funnel come out of that? That's the spot we want to watch, and I do appreciate the dual box that we can continue to watch and see that storm as more and more of that storm comes into play and it continues to move off toward the northeast. Still no official reports thus far from any Weather Service office as far as a confirmed tornado. It is strictly due to the rotation within the storm itself, still moving to the northeast at about 30 miles per hour. And if it's going to occur, this is the area you see that it would occur in. Again, little spots that it almost looks like there's some raggedness to the cloudiness in a couple of spots on that bottom of that rain-free base that we're seeing. The Parkersburg City Cam is located at the Parkersburg High School, so it's a beautiful picture to take a look at and see. Maybe a little rotation on the left side of your picture, kind of where we see some of that raggedness in the sky. That's something, again, we will continue to watch as we watch that continue to move off toward the east-northeast. It's just near and west of Highway 14. Let's go ahead and go back to our velocity picture, and we'll also see that. Again, very hard to detect just from its current position. Any noticeable rotation in the storm itself. It's kind of at the edge of where you would be able to get some of that rotation, but the picture confirms it, and we can certainly see a little bit in the area as it moves. Once again, let's go ahead and give you a picture here. 1 second. Yeah, again, we're kind of watching right to the south of Butler Center, just west of Highway 14, just off to the east of Eleanor. That's kind of the area right now that we're seeing more of the rotation within that storm as well if it's moving. So kind of maybe a little of this as it moves back toward the radar site and away. That's kind of the area right now that we're going to continue to keep our eye on and that we're watching as well in our Parkersburg City Cam, that the rotation is in the storm, and that's why this tornado warning was issued. There is no tornado watch in effect as of right now. We'll take a look to see if the Weather Service indeed will be doing that. If we're going to go full to the Parkersburg City Cam right now and just kind of take a look at that and just kind of watch that as it continues to move. I'm going to take a look and see if any watch has been issued for any other portion of eastern Iowa. We're in that season now where it can happen. This is a little bit rare, certainly, what we're seeing right now. As far as the severe weather, we haven't seen a lot of it across eastern Iowa yet. And that's good. We don't want to see any severe weather, if that's a possibility. Let's take a look. No, and again, not really expected. No tornado watch has been issued, but certainly we're watching very carefully that area. The rain to the right, that is not anything to worry about on our Parkersburg City Cam. But right in the center of the picture right now is kind of what we're watching with this storm system as it continues to lift back off toward the north and east. Let's go ahead and do the dual picture if you want and leave the Parkersburg City Cam up. That's awesome. Adam in the control room, we greatly appreciate that. Live pinpoint Doppler radar showing the rest of eastern Iowa very quiet right now and really not expected. There could be an isolated shower or storm yet. It's just ahead of a warm front that some of this activity is developing. But as we can see, we have the one warning still in effect, and it goes for about the next 11 and a half minutes until 5:15. It does include just portions of Butler County, not all of Butler County, just portions of Butler County. And you can see that kind of curl is moving up toward Highway 14, heading toward Allison. So probably in the next couple of minutes, that storm will be in the Allison area. You certainly want to be in your safe place if you are in Allison to make sure you get this storm through your area safely as well. Where is that safe place? Well, of course, it's the lowest floor you can get to on your home, preferably into a basement. Get under something sturdy. That's the best advice. Grab your bike helmet, put it on, protect yourself from flying debris, and that's also why you cover yourself with blankets, pillows, and towels. Make sure you're avoiding windows, doors, any outside walls as well. That's because if there is flying debris with the storm, you want to make sure you are absolutely safe. And if you're near a window, a door, or an outside wall, that debris or the door could open very quickly or slam very quickly. If you have no basement, small interior room is the best place to be. And certainly, if you're outside, inside is better. If you're outside, lowest level possible in the area that you are in. So again, we are watching a storm system that continues to move off to the northeast, issued about 10 minutes ago or so, a tornado warning for portions of Butler and Grundy County initially, now just in effect for Grundy County. And there you see the storm continuing to lift off to the north. We're going to go ahead and project it out past Butler County as well as it heads toward areas of Floyd County. Maybe just, it looks like it will head toward Floyd County, probably not toward Chickasaw County right now, but we'll keep our eye on it carefully. Let's just widen that picture out just a little bit and give you an exact pinpoint of where that storm is right now. And we'll go ahead and also, as we mentioned, take a look at the nearest radar site, give us a little better picture inside that storm. And you'll certainly see the higher reflectivity colors that we're noticing as well. With that, we are also noticing, once again, not much in the way of any velocity that is discernible right now. Now, certainly as the radar, probably near Highway 14 right now, as we take a look, that's where we're seeing some of the little bit of rotation. And again, we're farther away from the radar site, so it's kind of hard to see, but we'll kind of point that out to you right here. Kind of in this area right now. This is what we're watching as it moves to the north. That'd be the same area in response to kind of that curl in the clouds that we're seeing just off to the west of 14, just to the south of Allison. So kind of watching this area for that movement of the rotation within the storm itself. Let's go ahead and take that off. And then let's go ahead and go back to reflectivity and put on storm track, which again is what we want to watch and let you know where that storm will move, how soon it'll move into your area. So if we kind of project that area of rotation and move it out about, let's just go for about the next 25 minutes. That would take it through Butler Center at 5:09. That's about 3 minutes from right now. Walters Prairie Preserve, that happens at about 5:22. Sportsman's Park at about 5:25, Clarksville at 5:26, and Packard, that storm would arrive at 5:30. Some of those areas just outside the warning right now, but certainly something we are keeping our eye on and watching very carefully as that system continues to push through the area. You see again on our Parkersburg City Cam, looking at the football field you see at the high school in the bottom of your picture. You do see the rain-free base, or the rain from the storm system now moving through the area. Continuing to watch that move through. So far, no discernible fall has been seen as that storm has moved through, as reported by the Weather Service, but certainly some radar-indicated rotation, which has led to what we're seeing right now as far as the storm system itself and the tornado warning that is currently in effect. Again, not great right now. It does look like we're probably seeing that rotation kind of wind down a little bit from what it was earlier. It's not in a great environment. What's going to happen is that they will let this tornado warning expire at 5:15. They are not expecting to reissue this warning, and because of that and the lack of chance of that storm system continuing to move through the area or continue to develop, we will also be leaving coverage at 5:15. But for right now, we're going to stick with you just for a little while yet to watch this storm and make sure that there is no discernible rotation. We go full to the Parkersburg City Cam. We can kind of take a look. It is mainly a rain event right now. We've lost some of that lowering of the cloud cover that we saw a little bit earlier off toward the left side of our picture as we continue to follow it live for you with our Parkersburg City Cam. One of the great tools we have at TV9 is our City Cam network, giving you eyes out there all the time across eastern Iowa for various storm systems that are moving through. Again, we are not expecting any additional rotation from this storm as the environment it's moving in right now is very, very limited as far as what it would do. As we come back to radar, we're going to clear the picture right now for you and also take a look just kind of closer where that storm is. So if you still want to stay in that safe shelter, great idea, just as that warning continues from Butler Center and Allison. Those are the two spots. I would remain in your safe spot right now as that storm continues to work its way across eastern Iowa. We are again seeing that warning will be expiring as it moves toward 5:15 and continues to move off toward the north with an unexpected severe weather. Not expecting any additional severe weather. In fact, I'd be very surprised if there were any other warnings in eastern Iowa as this storm moves through. As we widen the picture out for you fully, first of all, giving you a look at the Parkersburg City Cam full, you can see that once again. There's the rain. It's moving. You're looking across the football field from the high school. Off to the left is where we're really concentrating on where that rotation was a bit earlier. But now, as we can see, that storm system has lost some of that rotation. And as a result, because it has lost that rotation, the Weather Service will be allowing this to expire. And as it moves out of the warning area, we will certainly be leaving coverage as well. We'll stick with you on coverage as long as that storm is still in the warning area. But as you can see, as you take a wide view of pinpoint Doppler radar, much of the area very, very quiet. That storm is moving in a very isolated area right now into an environment that is not as conducive to anything in the way of any severe weather development. Certainly was a chance earlier today with some of the clearing we saw in spots, and that's why some of these thunderstorms did develop. That clearing led to some instability in the atmosphere, allowing those storms to move in. But as we can see now, as we look from Highway 14 up toward Allison, heading toward Highway 1, that storm system really falling apart quite rapidly and continuing to do that. Again, so far no reports of any funnel cloud or any reports of any tornadoes from this storm system as we have it right now from the Weather Service. Potentially a report of rotation near the Blairstown area earlier as that storm was pushing through. But again, this will expire at 5:15, and I'm not expecting any additional severe weather to move through as that storm pushes off toward the north. We'll stick with you for the next 4 minutes or so and just kind of watch the cell as it moves through. Good reminder to us, right? It is severe weather season. From now all the way through the summertime, we certainly have that chance of severe weather as showers and storms move through. But again, not all of them produce storms. This is a good indication of that as well. A tornado warning can be issued for a couple of reasons. One, it can be issued that someone has seen a funnel cloud or a tornado is on the ground. That would be a confirmed sighting. As you can see, this is a radar indicated sighting, meaning that the Weather Service was taking a look at the radar, saw rotation within the storm at a certain level, and because of that, can lead to tornadic formation. Well, guess what? That's exactly why they issued this tornado warning, and that's why it was put out for a short period of time, just until about 5:15, enough to carry it through that area. That does not mean that every tornado warning has a tornado with it, but it does mean that, and this is a good reminder this time of the year as we're early in the season, that you should know where your safe place is and know where you should go when tornadoes move through. So if you are out, finding a safe shelter inside is the best place to be, certainly. As we take a look at a house, you can see that the best spots to be as we look at a house, of course, is the basement, the lowest level you can get to safely. But if you can't get there, avoid outside walls, maybe a hallway. A bathroom can be a good spot, a closet as well. Those are some better spots than others. Inside is always better, but of course, as we mentioned, basement is the best place to be. And just apply those same rules to exactly what we say when we watch storms pass through the area. And you're not in a home, you're in a building, in an apartment complex. You want to get to the lowest level you can get to safely, staying inside, under something sturdy. Under the stairs is always a good spot as well to think about, because that's kind of a reinforced area in the house with the stairs there. This warning will go for the next about 2 minutes. Then it's going to expire. As it does, we will leave coverage and allow you to get back to your regular programming. Certainly join us for a full wrap-up on the game today, as well as any weather that's moving through on the TV9 News, which will start at 5:30. So we encourage you to do that. Let's go ahead and pinpoint once again the area of the rotation that was there, but you're seeing it's moving into an area where we just don't have the environment or the instability present. And look what's happening to this storm. Notice how it was very red, dark reds, even as we came on the air with you with some of that curl in the clouds. Well, guess what? The colors are becoming more toward the yellows and oranges, meaning it's losing intensity. And as it continues to lose intensity, that chance of any tornadic formation certainly is gone. And we were never really expecting much in the way of a big gusty wind with this. Some brief areas of some small hail were probably present with this storm, along with some brief areas of heavy rain, a little bit of lightning as well. But storm system itself, again, now continuing to decay and move into a a more stable environment, a less unstable environment, and that's why we're finding once again that a warning moving out. You see, as we continue to watch on our Parkersburg City Cam Live, we haven't seen anything dropping. In fact, it looked a little more ominous when we came on with you earlier with the lower hanging clouds, the rain falling. That's what you're seeing with the darker conditions as you approach the ground. This again on top of the high school in Parkersburg, looking across the football field. And again, nothing off toward the left of the screen where we would expect to see if as this storm system was moving anything, and now the storm as well, really just starting to become more of a rain event. Still could be a rumble of thunder, certainly, and also could contain a little bit of lightning in spots as that storm continues to move off toward the north and east. It'll head through Clarksville. It'll head through Greene as well, but certainly not expecting anything in the way of severe weather. One more wide picture for you. Give you an indication of where that storm is, how it's moving through. And again, you'll see it's very isolated in nature. In fact, that's the only cell we're really watching right now. It's moving into a very stable environment. There's a little bit of activity trying to going here and there, not expecting much. Not going to rule out an isolated shower or storm yet as we head through the evening hours, but really expecting these to stay non-severe. That's how things shape up right now from the TV9 First Alert Weather Lab. Again, we'll continue to watch the system as it moves through. We'll continue to interrupt programming if needed, if any severe storms move through, but certainly you can count on us to always be here. Stay with us here on your trusted local news and weather source, KCRG-TV9.
Severe weather on KCRG-TV9, sponsored by AmeriClean.
Kind of makes me a double loser, right?
All right, we have to dump out of post-game coverage in Cleveland there, because back here in eastern Iowa, there is severe weather. Chief Meteorologist Rebecca Kolpman clearly has been watching the same things we have been, with also an eye on what's going on up north of the Cedar Rapids, Iowa City area right now.
Yeah, we do right now have a tornado warning. We were kind of watching storms today as we have a front, a boundary is just in place, and we do have a tornado warning. Earlier, there was a report of a tornado in central Iowa, and so this may be the reason why they have now issued this warning. So this is for Butler County, which includes Appleton, Parkersburg, and toward the Allison area here. So this is until 5:15, and trying to see if we do have any reports that have come in, but looks like the last was kind of from the Blairsburg area, Hamilton, Iowa, so out to the west. We have had some of these storms I mentioned with some gusty winds and with just the report of a tornado earlier. They, I think, are erring on the side of caution with this one. So apologies to have to interrupt the post-game coverage, but we're going to have to go through the tornado issues here and the potential for a tornado to be produced. Now, when we're looking at the velocity here, not really a lot in terms of the spin, what we're looking for here with this storm. So not really seeing much evidence of anything going on here with the with velocity in terms of what would be a tornado signature, but we do have the potential for some of these brief spin-ups to occur, and unfortunately, the tornado earlier that did spin up, it was did cause some damage to a barn. So this does go until 5:15, and the Weather Service there saying no reports so far, and they are saying that they're not going to be more further warnings with this storm, and that's good news. So perhaps this gets canceled here shortly because it is starting to get away from the front, and that would be away from where we have the majority of the spin available for these storms to produce even that kind of quick spin up there. So we are going to continue to keep an eye on things as this goes on. We do have, unfortunately, have to kind of wait this one out as long as they keep the warning, but this is for Butler County until 5:15. The rotation would be kind of northwest of Parkersburg there, and kind of the whole line is spinning a little bit, but definitely have still the potential to see some hail get produced with these storms and some heavy rainfall elsewhere along this line. Not really seeing much else development, so that is good news, and hopefully it kind of stays that way, as this would be really just down to the south and west along this front where we'd have the potential for more of these storms to develop and spin up and produce these brief and hopefully weak tornadoes. If we, not sure if we have anything else that's come in. Do you have a microphone on, Kason?
I do have a microphone on.
Yeah, Kason's on mic 3 here, so he's here, and we just kind of got that clearing to happen there, and had some sunshine, which allowed for the atmosphere to destabilize, and therefore now we have the tornado warning that has been issued here. So not really much else that's happening so far. But yeah, no.
That's kind of the unfortunate part about
Yes.
these sort of warnings. They pop up very quickly, and sort of the National Weather Service and everybody's kind of playing catch up. These sort of spin up tornadoes can happen in a very short amount of time, just a couple of seconds, and then those warnings come out rather quickly, and kind of playing catch up in terms of just getting ahead of it. But hopefully, as this system kind of lifts its way to the north, it's obviously not in the most favorable environment to continue to see really tornado producing storm, and then things will kind of start to wind down a little bit here throughout this afternoon and evening. But given the location, we know Parkersburg, the tornadoes they've experienced there before, obviously this is lifted a little bit farther to the north of you now.
Yes.
So things will be clearing out here in a little bit.
Always a little unnerving to hear the sirens going off and all of that, but the actual storm itself to the north of Parkersburg, and this is just kind of one of those situations, like Kason said, it can happen very quickly. These tornadoes usually are very short-lived, and if I don't know if you could pull up on Twitter if you guys actually look in for that tornado on the weather scan if we can route the weather scan. If not, I have a scene actually, I can do it too. But we can see if we can get the picture at least of the tornado from earlier today and show you the evidence that something did happen. But if I go back to the velocity on this one, there's not much. Usually you'd be seeing greens and reds meeting, and that would be a lot of spin happening. So this is just not going on. And we're not really seeing much in that respect of the rotation with this storm. Nothing that would really scream out to me tornado potential, but these weak ones sometimes can lead to these quick spin ups. You're looking for the scan-do scene? I can get to it. Well, if you guys want to go to it, so if you actually just look where the mouse is, right underneath it, there's a little tornado there that just touched the ground, and actually that's the report where they were saying that it did destroy some barns, 3 barns, I think, in the area, unfortunately. So sometimes even these weak ones, they can still do some damage, but sometimes they just happen in an open field and it's all good. But unfortunately,
we're always hoping if
yes.
we can get them in the open fields out in those rural areas. That's unfortunate to hear that there is
Yes.
likely some damage. Just shows the power of, we got EF1 tornado or whatever, possible once
Probably.
this gets rated, how, destructive those can even be. It doesn't need to be on the higher end. You just get that good
Yes.
rush of wind, and obviously things can happen like that really quickly when these tornadoes pop up out of nowhere. There's really, it's a struggle to warn them. People aren't really too turned in on the weather, and then boom, we've got something like that that's popping up, and why we're dealing with the warning we are now.
And absolutely thankful that we're not dealing with anything that is overly strong, or at least not that's hit anything in terms of going to any homes or anything like that. If we go back to Max 1, though, we do still have this tornado warning, and I don't know if the Weather Service has said anything else, but we do have the warning still until 5:15, so I'm going to guess that they're just going to kind of let that happen and go unless we, in the next minute or here, just get the opportunity to get this warning lifted. But we had just this boundary laid out, kind of been keeping a little bit of an eye on it. I was actually staring at the storm, and I was looking at, they had issued a special weather statement for it, and they didn't make a mention of a tornado, but then all of a sudden there was the warning. So we do have still this tornado warning that goes until 5:15. It had earlier been issued in Grundy County, and it is in just in Butler County here, and to the north of Parkersburg near Allison would be that rotation. And there's really not much in between. You got Butler Center here, Highway 14 toward Allison and such, and that is where the storm is producing some rain and some lightning, and that is about that. Oh, and then we have, so the National Weather Service kind of saying the same thing. I would do it on Grayson's account. I don't know if she'd want me to, because I was going to just be like, hey, are we going to cancel the warning here? But are you considering canceling the warning early? But yes, feel free, whatever you'd like to do there, Kason. Just making it, yeah. It's getting just less together at the time. Yeah, when you look at velocity, there's not much there. So I know you don't love me being on your screen. I don't love being on your screen. And obviously, I'm glad we got to get, I think, the majority of that presser, and I think they were maybe finishing up their last question, hopefully. But we got 25 minutes of post-game coverage, Mitch says, so it's all good. But this won't cheer people up, will it? We do have, the Weather Service said we'll let it run through the end of the time. We don't have a plan to reissue.
You didn't want us doing sports? We
could start doing some commentary.
We could start doing...
I don't know about that. So we do have some pictures of damage here. So this, I believe, this was the chaser that I saw capture the picture. So this is the barn damage. So even these quick spin-ups, unfortunately, if they're just in the wrong spot at the wrong time, and I can't imagine that thing was on the ground for more than, oh gosh, maybe 2 minutes. Yeah, just kind of was able to get there. So there's another shot of it. So really high base with this storm as well, and that's kind of what I was seeing with a lot of the thunderstorms earlier today, was that the bases of these storms are so high. Oh, they said expired. Oh. They said they were going to let it run through, and now they say expired. So yes, so a few spots of damage there. I'm going to just say we'll let this go. It has, they're going to let the warning expire, so we're going to, I don't know, Mitch, you have more over there that you want to toss it back to you? We're going to commercial? We're going to regular scheduled programming? All right, well, thank you for joining us for our post-game coverage of the national championship game, and of course, we will have more for you at iwasnewsnow.com, and we're going to turn it back to regularly scheduled programming.